Okay, so hello everyone. Before we start, I think it's 1 more minute. But before we start, I'm struggling with something here, and I'd love someone to assist me. I want to share my screen, but I can't seem to do that right now. So, is there anyone who is making use of his or her laptop? I'll share some slides on our Discord page right now, and you could help us share your screen while I do the presentation. Can anyone help us out? Adebanjo, please unmute and let me hear what you have to say. Adebanjo, your hand was raised up.
Don't worry, it was a mistake.
Okay, so no one can help us share his or her screen.
Sorry, Ogochuku. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm with my laptop, but I don't think I'm on the Discord group for data engineering.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I've not figured out how to get into it.
You've not joined the Discord yet.
Can you send it to me? Let me share it to the group.
Okay, I just need someone that will share his or her screen on this call while I do the presentation.
Or if
I can send
you
it
can
to the
share
group.
it in the chat here.
Huh?
If you can send it to the chat here on this call, maybe I'll just download it and start sharing.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can send that sort of information here. I don't think I can send an attachment here. Is there someone who can help us out, please?
Can you send it to me, or how do you want me to help you to do that?
Okay, so just say hi on the call, or are you not? You're not on the Discord, are you?
I am.
Okay, let me send it to the Discord group. Then you can pick it and share it from there. Hope that's fine.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm sending it right to you. I've sent it. Please see if you can access it and help us out. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. I want to share it now.
Okay, thank you. So while that is going on, while we are waiting for Abdul Hamid to share his screen, I want to welcome also to today's session once again. Thank God it's another end of another new week. So, and it's a new month. So welcome to today's session, and I hope we came prepared with enough questions on wheresoever aspect we're having any issues with. So for us to start today, We'll first of all start by doing a brief recap of what we talked about last week. Then we will look at this week's assignments, which are intermediate SQL queries, joins, and our assignments, and the projects for this week. So we'll be looking at aggregates and grouping. We'll look at SQL execution of order, SQL order of execution. We'll be looking at joins, at subqueries, at CTEs. And then finally, there will be space for question and answers, if any. If any, before we talk about our assignments for next week. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Abdulhamid. Thank you very much. I can see your screen. I hope every other person can. Right. So let's start. I've talked about the agenda. Please go to the third slide. I've talked about what we have in preparation for today. Then last week we looked at a basic introduction to data engineering. We talked about what data engineering is. We talked about the various components of data engineering. We talked about ETL pipelines, the extract, transform, and load, and the usefulness of databases in SQL, in data engineering. We also looked at some basic SQL queries that allow us, or language that allow us interact with our database. We looked at the select keyword. Please go to the third slide, Abdulhamid. Are you there?
I am, but
Yes.
it's not. I can't select. I'm not able to change it to another slide.
Wow. You can't do a full screen presentation. I just want us to follow along while I'm explaining these things, because there are some examples in the slides which I would have loved to do live, but I can't right now. And there are some examples there that would aid our understanding of what I'm saying. Okay, well let's move ahead. So last week we talked about in an introduction to data engineering and SQLs. We mentioned some basic SQL keywords that are we talked of select, which is used to say the columns that will be returned by a query. Then we talked of the from. Talked of the from keyword, from which tells SQL the table where to get our requested data from. Then we talked about where. Where gives us conditions through which we can use to filter our data. Then order by, that talks of ordering the data either in ascending or descending order. Then we also mentioned the limit keyword, which which tells the number of rows to be returned in our query. Oh, I really don't need this slide now. All right. So in the fourth slide, what we're supposed to see right now is 3 tables. We'll be looking at some examples using some of the SQL commands that we'll look at today. And the examples we'll look at will concern 3 tables actually. I created 3 tables: the customers table, an orders table, and a products table. And assuming the slide was okay, we will be seeing the tables on our screen right now. So for the tables, our others table has, so sorry, please, if you're having issues, I think if someone else has the slides on his or her system, you could please assist in sharing that, so we all follow along and understand what's being said. Marvelous,
Stop saying so
please.
that another person can do that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Marvelous. So that's on our screen now. We can see. Thank you very much, and thank you also, Abdulhamid. So on our screen we can see three tables. The first is the others table, that's at the top left. We have the others table that has 5 rows, which are the order ID, the 5 columns, sorry, which are the order ID, customer ID, product ID, order date, and quantity. We also have our product table, which has 4 columns, and they are the product ID column, product name, category, and price. And thirdly, we have the customers table, which has just 3 columns, and they are the customer ID, name, and email. Now, in the various examples we'll be looking at in this session, this is mainly the tables that we'll consult, and this is what we're going to work with. Next slide, please. So using our select statements, we can easily get information from our tables. Like I said before, select tells us the columns that we are going to return, the columns that will be returned by our query. So at the top left, we can see a query, select asterisk from others. Now, that query returns every information on the others table. The image beneath it is the output of that query. It gives us every information and every data, every data in our others table. Now, asterisk is a wild character. Rather than, if we want to return all the information on a table, rather than listing the column names individually, SQL has a short form of doing that, which is by using the asterisk character. So asterisk gives us all the information on a table. Now, the next we'll see a select asterisk from products. That query gives us all the information on our products table. The image beneath it is the output of that query. So that is all the information on our products table. And lastly, we have select asterisks from customers underneath all of them. So the last image at the bottom is the information on our customers table. All the information on our customers table, which contains the customer ID, the name, and the email. So these various SQL commands, it enables us to query our database depending on what you want. You know the command or the keyword that you make use of to get the required results from your database. Then next, we'll look at case statements. Next, please. We'll look at a case statement. What is case statement used? It's simply used to return a value after a condition has been met. Now, a case statement can be used in the select statements to create another another column in our output based on the conditions that we give, in that select statement. Now, for example, looking at the question there on our screen, we have that a company has decided to do a promo. And the promo is this: any customer that buys between 9 to 39 items, the person will not pay for one. So if you buy 9 items, you are going to pay for only 8. If you buy 30, if you buy 39, you will pay for only -1 of the total number you bought, if your purchases is between 9 and 39. Additionally, the another part of the promo is that any customer who buys more than 39 items now, so say you buy from 40, 50, 40 upwards, you will not pay for 2 items. And now we want to write a query. We want to query our database so that it will show us the customers who ordered products, the quantity they ordered, and the new quantity based on the promo that we are running. So we want to know the new quantity that they would pay for based on the promo we are running. And underneath, you see the query there, where in our select statement, we have, first of all, to select the customer ID, which will identify our customer. Then we'll select also the quantity column, which tells us the quantity that was ordered by the customer. Then using a case statement, this is where a case statement now comes in to form the third column. Now, from our promo, we said when the customer's product is between 9 and 39, the case statement gives us the ability to segment our customers in that way. So we say case when the quantity is between 9 and 39, then quantity should be quantity -1. And one thing we should note, which is the beauty of SQL, is that it's like everyday language. So most of the commands, they're just like when we are speaking English, it's like everyday language. So it's not too difficult to get or remember these keywords and their functions, just like we're talking in the case here. So the first condition we gave in our case statement is that when the quantity is between 9 and 39, then quantity should be quantity -1. The second condition being that when quantity is above 39, then our quantity returned will be quantity -2, which are the two key promotions that we had which are the two key conditions that we had in our promo. So if these two conditions are not met, that means the person bought between 1 and 8 items. We aren't going to do any promo for the person. The person will pay for exactly the number of items he or she purchased. So and that's where the else comes in. So if the first statement, the first condition and the second condition is not met in the where statement, the else statement comes in. So else, if the person doesn't buy between these two conditions, just return the quantity that the person purchased. And then we end our case statement with an end keyword, as giving us the alias, which means the name that the new column will be in our output. So this case statement, the column name will be new quantity. And all of this information, we are getting it from our orders table. So looking at the image close to that query, you will see that customer ID, the customer with customer ID 1 requested bought 5 and the new quantity remains 5. If we go to customer ID number 2, the person bought 40 and the new quantity is 38, which means the promo took effect in that order. So it was 40 minus 2, giving 38. If we go to the third one, next, customer 1 came back and bought 8 goods again. Since he wasn't up to 9, we didn't remove anything from him. So that person had to pay for the 8 goods he or she bought. Then coming to the fourth line, customer with customer ID 3 bought 12 items and we had to remove 1 because it was between 9 and 39. So the new quantity the customer was made to pay for was 11. And so that's how case statement works in SQL. Based on a given condition, it gives us an output and enables us to create a new column based on that condition. So next, we're looking at aggregates and group by statements. What are aggregates? Aggregate commands are simply commands that perform operation on rows of data and return a single result. Aggregate commands, they perform operation on a group of data and they return a single result. Now, these commands are as follows. The sum command. What does sum do? Sum, like we all know, is to add. So the sum command adds a specific row and gives the total sum of that row. Then next is the AVG. AVG is short form for the average. Average gives us the mean value of a row. Then next we look at min, M-I-N. That is the short form for minimum. It takes in a column and it gives us the minimum, the least value in that column. And then the opposite of min is max, which gives us the highest value of a given column. Then we also have count. Count gives us the number of rows present in a column, in any given column. So to use it for example, we have, using as an example, we are asked to find the total, the average. Next, please. We're asked to find the total, the average, the maximum, and the minimum quantities of goods, all the goods ordered in our store that's as recorded in our database. So what we simply do is to put all of these aggregate values. To find the total, we need the sum. To find the average, we use the AVG keyword. To find the maximum, we use MAX, which is max. And then the minimum also, we use MIN, which is mean. So we put all of these in our select statement and show the table where we want our results to come from. So our query would look like this, which is to select the sum quantity, average quantity, max quantity, mean quantity from our orders table. So our output now gives us the results as seen on our screen. So the output gives us the total quantity, which is 70. That is the sum of all the goods that has been ordered from our store. Then our average quantity is 11. The maximum quantity is 40, which means that the highest number of goods I ordered at a time is 40 pieces, and then the minimum quantity is 1. Then we talk of group buy. What does group buy do? A group buy is actually needed to split rows into groups. The group buy mainly uses aggregate commands, because for you to, most times we need to get aggregate value of some categories in our data. The group by helps us to, first of all, group our data in these categories before using the aggregate values to get either the sum, the count, the average, the minimum, maximum, or any value that we need to get from the data. So, for example, we want to get, okay, from our example here now, we are asked how many products are listed in each category. We want to know how many products are actually listed in each category. And we were told to organize our results such that the highest will be at the top and the least below. So the group by combined with our count and the order by keywords are the main things that we're going to use to solve this question. So first of all, we'll have to select, of course, they said we should we should display how many products are listed in each category. So definitely we will have the category column in our output. Now they requested for the count of products. So in our accounts, in using our accounts aggregates, we are going to count the number of products, which is product ID for each category. And then we are going to group it by each category so that when this query executes, each category will give us the total number of products that is listed in it. And then we're going to order it by our count category in descending order. Now, order by, like I said before, is used to organize our output or the result of our query, either in descending or in ascending order. By default, the order by uses ascending order. So if we do not specify anything after a column name when using our order by, our results will be in ascending order. However, if we need it to be in descending order, we must actually use the descending keyword, which is DESC. We must use that keyword to order our results in descending order. So after running this query, we can see our output here, and it shows us that the category, first of all, our electronics category has 3 products listed under that category, which is the highest. Then the furniture category has just 2 products listed under it. And then our accessories has only 1 product listed under the accessories category. So these things allow us to know exactly what we have in our database. Then we'll look at having and where keywords. Having and where, both of them, they serve the same purpose, which is to filter data in using a given condition. However, the difference between these two is that while where filters the data before it is being grouped, The where clause filters the data before it is being grouped, but having filters it after grouping. We will get to understand this more when we look at the SQL execution of order. But for now, let's bear in mind that the main difference between having and where is when it is executed. The where clause is executed before a grouping if there is a group by statement in our query, while the having is executed after the grouping. And it is because of this difference that makes the having, that enables the having keyword make use of aggregate commands, while the where cannot use aggregate commands whenever we are writing our queries. The where clause does not accept aggregate commands, but the having clause accepts aggregate commands when we are grouping our data. So we can use this as examples. For example, in the fourth question, they said we should find products that are sold above 500. The only thing we want is products that the price is above $500. That is the key condition of what we want. So using our select statement, of course, we select the name of the product and category, as the case may be, from our products table, and then we give the final condition of our output, which is where the price is greater than $500. Then for the question 5, using having, we were asked to find the product category whose average price is above 500. Now, if we want to find this, since it requires that we group our data using average, using an aggregate value, then we'll be using, then the keyword we have to use is having and not where, which is also what is seen underneath as written on the query there. So we selected the category, which is the column of our column of interest, from products, which is our table, which is the table where our category column resides. Then we're grouping by category and having average price greater than 500. Another thing I would like us to note when using group by and aggregate values is that if we have to return a result where we have, say, three columns, and of these three columns, 4 are actually columns on our database, while the third, sorry, of these 3 columns, 2 are columns on our database, while the third is an aggregated column. What I mean is the third column uses an aggregate value. Then in our group by statement, we need to put the 2 columns that are in our database, that are in our table. I hope we understand that. Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear.
All right, thank you. I almost thought I was talking to myself. I was talking to myself there. Okay, someone asked for a recap. What I'm saying is this: when using group by and an aggregate value in our queries, if in the select statement we need to return 2 columns, for example, we say we need to return the price and name, and we also need to return the average price. That is 3 columns. I'm just giving an example. We need to return these 3 columns in our query. The group by will contain name and price. That means the group by will contain the 2 columns that are in our database. The group by must contain the 2 columns that are in our database, else the query would give us an error. I hope that's clear now.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So then, let's go to the next slide, please, because I would like to ask a question first of all. So in this slide, we have 2 queries. We have option A and option B. Of these two options, we want to answer a question. And the question we are seeking to answer is, how many products are listed in each category? And we've been told to return each categories with more than 2 products in descending order. So I want us to look at this. I hope it's clear enough. I want us to look at these 2 queries, A and B, and let someone tell us these 2 queries, which is correct and which is wrong, and and why you think any of them is wrong or correct. So in the first query, we have our select by category, and we have accounts. And then we are doing from our products table. So I want someone to look at these 2 queries, A and B, and just tell us, what do you think is the output? Is it correct? Is it wrong? Let me know, please. I need someone to speak. Okay, Ayolua, please, let's hear you.
So for the first query, I think what is wrong with it is that we are supposed to be using having count instead of where clause there. Am I wrong? I don't think so. And sorry.
We're here, we're listening.
So for the first one, we're supposed to be using an having count.
Okay.
Why for this second one, I'm still trying to spot. Sorry, you mean it's me, sorry.
All right, that's fine.
I think someone wants to go next. So I don't
Okay, let somebody else. Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. Let's praise. We have praise raising up his hand. Please, let's hear your response. Is praise there? Okay. If we can't hear praise, I think I saw Tochi raising his hand. Please, Tochi, let's hear what you have. Okay, Kachi, not Tochi. Kachi, please, let's hear you.
Okay. So the first query says. So the first query says that where count category greater than 2. So that's like what is an aggregate function, right? It's impossible to perform well on it. Rather, it should be having. So that's why the second query having counts with the category in bracket greater than 2 is what should be used. So the having keyword is like a where statement for our aggregate function.
Okay, thank you. That's nice. Somebody, I see someone else raising his hand. Please, Ayolua. Yes, please, let's hear you.
Sorry, thank you. I don't know. I think I need to ask. Why are we counting product ID and we're saying is a count of category? We're not
Sorry?
counting we are like the count is on product ID
Mm-hmm.
column, not on category column.
Okay, so that's the makeup. If you look at the database, that was why I shared that table at the first instance. And also we are looking at the number of products. The number of products, not the number of categories, the number of products in each category.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
I
So
just think
any
maybe
other
the
person wants?
areas have been more descriptive because
Sorry?
if I'm reading your query now, I will have gotten it wrong, like something. I'll have thought that is on. It should be on the category column since the alias is count category, not like count product.
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I didn't get to edit all that on time. I just copied it, but it's fine. We are counting on the products, not the category, because we want to know how many products are actually listed in each category.
Thank you.
All right. So any other person? Praise is still raising his hand. Can we hear you now?
Hello, am I audible? Good evening.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think the first query will result to an error in the sense that the where statement does the filtering on count category, which is not even yet existing on the table, because we're only having select category before the select part. In terms of order of execution, after the product is selected, which is the table, the where statement follows next, and we're filtering by count category, which was actually an alias from the select statement, which hasn't yet run. So I think this will lead to an error. But for the second one, it works fine because we are just grouping by the categories, which um, groups all record related to this particular category together. Then the having statement which runs after the group by, which still works fine. Then does the filtering and good to go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Praise. That was great. That was excellent. Ah, thank you very much. Any other person? Let's get just one more before we continue, please. I think Kosim. Let's get one more person before we continue. But I've gotten what I want. I just want to hear other person's opinion, and let's before we continue. Who would that be?
Alright, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm still finding it hard to get which one is correct, but Praise said something. So is it a matter of how it was executed that makes option A wrong? Because it said something that because the where function is coming, like where the where function is positioned, it's disputing the. I don't know if I'm gonna explain it so like the way option B is written, because group by came first, then having those the um filtering process. Does that mean I don't know if you are getting me now, but like I'm just confused as to what you just said now. That's why I'm coming. Maybe it's the position of where the where function is and the having function is. I just want you to take it again and explain it now.
Okay, we are getting to that. That's where we're
Not
actually heading to. So,
alright. I
did
might not
someone else want to speak?
have.
Okay. I think good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome.
I think the main problem is the where. When we are moving, we cannot reach where. that you cannot have anywhere in our statement when we are Googling. So we would
Okay.
having when we are filtering a group
Okay.
statement. I think that's the main problem with the
All right. Thank you. So thank you everybody for the contributions. We're going to come back to this question, but let's move forward to SQL order of execution first of all. Now, this will lead us to answering the question that we just attempted right now. Somebody answered it correctly, but from somebody else's comments, I see that we have a problem with SQL order of execution. Now, when we're writing our queries, does SQL execute our queries line by line like some programming languages do? The answer is no. The order of execution for a SQL query is not line by line. So that's why when we're writing our queries, you need to understand what will be executed first before knowing the correct query to write. When a query wants to be executed, first of all, it starts from the from keyword, because it gets to the database, and using the from keyword, the from directs it to the table that we need our responses from. So first of all, although the select is the first statement we write, but that select statement is not the first statement that will be executed when our queries run. It starts with the from. From the from, it gets the tables that we need to work with on our database. After that, it goes to join. Join simply adds up other tables. If we are working with more than one table, if we need a result that has to collect information from more than one table, we use our join. So from and join, it's just about our tables. So what our query does, first of all, is it looks for the tables that we said we want to work with. Then next, it uses the where to filter according to that condition that we give in our where clause. And after which, it goes and groups by the data that we have. It groups by the information or by the column that we specify. After the group by, it comes to having. Now, all of this is if there is a having in our query, then after group by, it comes to having. Having also filters data, but this time around, it filters data based on aggregate values. The where does not filter data based on aggregate values. Rather, our having keyword is what filters data based on aggregates. So after our filtering, our grouping, that is when the select statement will be executed. So in most queries, in like small queries that we write to get maybe basic information, the last statement that is usually executed is our select statement. So after the select statement, then our result is ordered and the limit that we want is then executed. So when we're writing queries, we should have at the back of our minds the order of execution of SQL. It doesn't go sequentially. It doesn't go sequentially. Rather, it has its own order of execution based on the keywords that we use in our queries. So going back to the question, Going back to our question, next, please. So going back to our question, of these two queries, actually, the correct one is option B. The correct one is option B, based on sequel order of execution. Now, let us look at how option A will be executed and where it will fail. First of all, if we want to execute option A, it starts from the from statement. It goes to our database and looks for the products table. When it gets the products table, then it goes to our where statement. And we have said that it should give us columns where count category is greater than 2. It goes to the products table and looks for count category column. Since our select statement has not yet been executed, the query will fail once it gets to the where part, because there is no count category column on our products table. So that is where option A will fail. And immediately it will give you an error stating that the specified column cannot be found. So that is where option A will fail. And option B would go because we have used having to get the aggregate value of our count category. To get the aggregate value of what we want, which is the count of the product IDs in our table. So when it comes to execute this option B, first of all, after getting to the products table, it groups the table. It groups every information on the table based on their category. After which, the category, it counts and gets the categories that are more than 2. Then after that, it selects the category, that's the category name, and the number of times each category appears. This is after filtering for those that are above 2. So after that, it executes our select statements, which is giving us the category column and the number of times each product appears under each category. And lastly, it comes to the order by and orders our results in descending order. So that's how option B, that is why option B is the correct query to execute this statement, and option A is not. And looking at it also, we'll see that whenever we are writing queries, any using of aliases, like in this option A, we used count category as the alias to count the number of products in each category. We used count category as the column name, which is an alias. The where clause does not recognize aliases because they are in the select statement, and the select statement is not executed before the where clause. I hope that's okay. All right, thank you. So let's proceed. And let's talk about joins. Now, what are joins? Joins is simply combining tables based on their relationship. A database can contain so many tables, and the information we need could be passed across, could be available across different tables on our database. And we want to write one query that will collect information, take information from table A, table B, and table C, and give us as one result. How that is executed is through using of joins. Now, if we look at the image that we have on our screen, we will see that there is a line between the orders table and the customers table. Also, there is a line between the orders table and the products table. That line shows the presence of a relationship between the customers and the orders table, and another relationship between the orders and the products table. Now, looking at it again, we can see that there is no direct line between the products and the customers table. Does it mean that we cannot get information between these two tables? The answer is no. Since a relationship already exists between both tables and the orders table, we can always get information concerning the products table from the customers table when we join the orders table and the products table together. So though the products and the customers table do not have direct relationship, indirectly they are related through the orders table. So whenever we need information to cut across these three tables on our database, we need to use a join statement to do that. And in SQL, there are different kinds of joins available. We have the next, please. We have inner join, we have the left join, we have right, we have the full outer join, we have cross join, we have self join. But these four here, the inner, the left, the right, and the full outer, are like the basics. They are like the popular ones. So when we talk of inner join, what do we mean? We have two tables here. Inner join simply is the intersection between both tables. It is the information that is present in table A and also present in table B. So anything that is in table A, okay, let's say anything that is on the left table that is not on the right table will not be in the inner join. The inner join is every information present in the left table and also present in the right table. So that gives us our inner join. When we use an inner join, that is the result we are going to have. And that is the place colored blue on our screen. Then we go to left join. Left join is all the information available on our left table, including the ones including the ones that intersects with our right table. So every information on our left table, when we use a left join, we are requesting for every information on our left table and those that intersects our right table. Then coming to the right join is the opposite of a left join. And in this case, it is every information on our right table, including the ones that intersects the left table. But any information that is on the left table that is not on the right table will not be returned by our right join. Then we look at full outer join. Full outer join is simply everything on both tables. Both the intersection, those that are available in the right table are not available in the left, those available in the left are not available in the right. It's simply every information on both tables. That is what a full outer join gives us. So we'll look at just few examples. So for example, we want to use an inner join to get the quantity of each product sold. Now we have a product table that gives us the information about our products that are available. And we also have an orders table that gives us the information of the orders that were placed, the orders that have been placed in our database. So to get the information of each product that was sold, we need to combine both the products and our orders table. The products table will give us the products sold, while the orders table gives us the quantity that was sold. So in this instance, after the from keyword, that is where we get to use our inner join. So to use our inner join, you simply use the inner join, the table we want to join. Then now we are joining on the column that is present in both tables. If we remember the tables that we are working with, the orders and the products. In the orders table, we have a product ID column. And also in our products table, we have a product ID column. So that is the column that is common to both tables. And in this situation, we will be joining based on that column, which is the product ID. So when we run this query, we are going to have the output that is shown there, which is just 6 items. So it tells us that all these items, only 6 items in our store has been sold, and also gives us the quantity that was sold for these items. Then we can also use a left join to answer the same question that we answered using an inner join, which is also to get the quantity of each product sold. If you look at our output, if you look at our previous output, when we used the inner join, we had just six results, 6 rows. Then when we use the left join, we can see that in the output we have 7 rows. And number 1 there is laptop. Quantity sold is null, meaning that we have not sold any laptop yet. So that is what a left join does. In a left join, the left join will give us all the information on the left table, whether they are present in the right table or not, it does not matter. As long as the information is on the left table, it would give us everything. So we can see that on our left table, we have only, looking at the output from our left join, we can see that on the left table, we have 7 items in our store. And so far, only 6 items has been sold. So far, we have sold only 6, which is why our inner join returned only 6 results. And as it is, we have not sold a laptop. So using a left join, we were able to see that, yes, so we have a laptop, but till now we have not sold any. Then if we use a right join for this is going to give us just a similar result based on the contents of the database. The right join will give us a similar result to left join, because everything on the right table has actually something on the left. So if we use a right join here, we are going to get something similar to the inner join because of the contents of the table we are working with. That doesn't mean that our right join will not give us something different from an inner join. No, but because of the information we are working with right now, if we do a right join on this tables, we will get a result similar to what we got from our inner join. So additionally, we should know that most often, people don't even use right join. It's left join that is being used more often, because left join and right join is the same thing. The difference is where you place the table. The difference is in the placement of the tables. So if we want to have a right join here right now, we simply put instead of from products, we simply say from orders, left join products. We simply switch the position of these two tables we're working with, and we have a right join. So most oftentimes it's a left join that is used more than a right join. Then let's move to subqueries and CTEs. Let's move to subqueries and CTEs. What is subquery? A subquery is a query inside another query. What does it mean? A query means if we need to get a result before running another query, we can write our queries in such a way that we impute the first query inside the main query. So looking under, we can see the structure of a query, a subquery. Now, a subquery can either be in the from, it can be in the where, it can be I think in the in clause, it can also be there. So simply is a subquery is a query that is defined inside another query. In the example we have here, based on the structure, we can see that from the where clause, after imputing column name, we said equal to select. Now this select is another query. So probably let's say we need to get products that are equal to the products that are we need to get products or prices that are equal to the average price of goods in our store. In the inner select query, which is the select that is written in the same line with the where clause, we could write a query that gives us the average price in the average price of our products. We could write a query that returns the average price of our products. Then using the where column, using the where keyword, in the column name, we now put our price, such that whenever this query runs, it will check our column and see, it will check the price to see if it is actually equal to the figure that is there, which is the average price of goods in our database. Then coming to CTEs, CTE simply means common table expression. It's also a way of writing multiple queries, but this time around, the structure is the difference. Now, what is a CTE? For us to write a CTE is simply a table that is used and referenced by our main query. Looking at the structure, we can see that for us to write a CTE, we start with a with statement. With Then the next following is the name of our CTE. We use the ask keyword, and then we write the query that we want to run as our CTE. We write the query that we want. We could want to get a table from, we could want to create a different table from the tables we already have existing in our database. And that table will be used to calculate or to check for another value in our main query. So that is where we get to write it inside the as and in brackets, in open and close brackets. And after declaring our CTE, after writing our CTE query, we get to write our main query underneath it. And in the main query, we call or we reference our CTE. So, for example, now, we have a question, and our question says that we should find customers that have placed more than one order. Now, this question, it was answered in two ways. The first was using a subquery, and the second was using a CTE. That's a common table expression. So using a subquery, since we were asked to find customers that have placed more than one order, first of all, in the inner query, now I'm talking about when we use the subquery. In our inner query, the inner query is in the where clause. We can see that query returns the ID, the customer ID of customers that have ordered more than one item. The inner query returns that. Then the outer query now gives us the name and the email of those who have ordered more than one item. So that's how the subquery solves this. Then looking at our CTE, first of all, what we did was we wrote a different query, which is like a temporary table, to also give us the name, the ID, and the number of orders that each customer has ordered or has placed in our database. So the CTE gives us the customer ID and the number of items, bearing in mind that the results will be orders that are above one when we use our having at the end of the CTE. So after calculating this, after getting this table, this information with our CTE, we now come to our main query. And here in our join statement, we referenced our CTE. We referenced the CTE. So using this, the join, we were able to get information from our CTE. And the information we got from our CTE are customers that have ordered more than one item. Then in our main query, we just got the name and the email address of those customers. So that's basically the difference between a subquery and a CTE. They can be used to answer the same question. They can be used to answer different ways of answering the same question. However, their syntax, the way they operate are actually different. But in everything, they are actually they can be used to answer the same question. Then we'll now ask ourselves, subquery or CTE, which one is better? The thing is this, it depends on what you're doing. It depends on the database. It depends on the information that you have on your database. It depends on the kind of tables that you're working with. Then you will determine if a subquery or a CTE is preferable to answer the questions that you want to get from your database and your tables. Now, if you're dealing with simple queries, it's just easier to use a subquery. If you're dealing with a table that has just a little amount of records or data, it's easier to use a subquery. But when you're talking of a voluminous amount of data, a CTE is preferable because it is both readable and it is reusable. When we talk of readability, you find out that when you use a subquery in a statement, in a query, when you write a query using a subquery and you write more than two subqueries, it is kind of difficult to know which one. It is difficult to know which query executes first, which query executes next. After the next query, what next? It is difficult to know. However, when you use a CTE and you're writing multiple queries aside your main query, it is easier and readable. It is easier to maintain and it is readable. Anyone who sees such will look at the query and say, yes, this one returns this returns this, and everything. It is more structured using a CTE whenever we are working with multiple, or whenever we want to use, say, multiple temporary tables in responding to certain questions or in querying our database. Then we talk of reusability. A subquery, once it ends, once it runs, that is the end of it. But a CTE can be called multiple times. It can be called multiple times, and it is always easier that way. It can be called multiple times in our queries, and it is easier to understand that way. Then we also wanted to discuss on our project. Okay, so also wanted us to talk about our project, which is analyzing students' mental health. The project we were assigned to complete last week. Let me send please hold on. Let me send the attendance link first of all before. Hold on, please. Okay. So I'm sending the attendance link right now. So please write your name. I ought to have done this earlier. So we're meant to also discuss about our project. I wanted to give a brief explanation. I wanted to explain how we should look at the project, because from our information, most persons haven't done this project. Less than 25% of students have not completed this project. And this thing is meant to expire today. On this call now, please write your attendance. Please, I hope you're writing your attendance. Please fill the form and submit, because the form will not be made available after this call. Now, on this call, we have about 40 persons here, and less than 25% has not submitted the project. So if we calculate by the number of persons on this call, it's possible that only about 4 to 5 persons have submitted their project. I wanted us to discuss it, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's my system or it's general. Their project link has not been opening for some days now. Is any other person experiencing that? Okay, someone says she doesn't. That's, I intended us to look at, I wanted us to look at that project, but I don't know. If somebody else is experiencing it, please let me know. So, okay. If someone say, okay, so I'll have to look at, because for some days I've been unable to access that site to look at the project. I wanted, okay, just, Akintola says his is not submitting. Oh, hold on, please. Okay, my full name, I'll just type it here. That's Ogochupa again. Could be. So I don't, Moses, I don't know how we'll do. I've sent in the attendance link a while ago, so let me resend again. I wanted us to actually discuss this, but as it is, I can't access it from my system. I've been experiencing that for some days now. Though the other sites on the platform is working, but the one for projects, their data lab is not opening. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Then we'll have to shift this to next week. We'll have to shift it to next week. So next week, hopefully everything will be resolved. We'll look at how to solve the projects to analyze students' mental health. I wanted to read the questions and solve it step by step. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the questions. So please, you bear with me. And next week, hopefully, if their site is resolved, we'll look at it and we'll see how to attempt this project step by step. That's what we're going to do. That's part of the things we'll do in our next week's session. Okay. Someone said he had a problem initially. Please, could you tell me how you resolved it? Please, could you say how you resolved it? Let me understand to know if there is anything I can do from my end. Shakira, please. Okay, so for those that didn't receive the Discord link, please check your mails. The invitation to data camp, the Discord link is there. Please check your mail. If you got an
Marvelous.
invitation to
Marvelous. Hello, Marvelous.
hello.
Is Shakira here?
Okay, how were you able to resolve the issue? You said you were having
Hello,
issues
I can
with.
hear you.
If you go to assignments on your dashboard, it comes up, but sometimes it doesn't. And you've got to click
Okay,
that arrow.
all right.
But it didn't. I had a problem this afternoon with one or two, and then after that, it came back again.
Oh, okay. So I'm
I'm not
saying
sure. Is it just the platform, or is it just the way I'm using the platform?
I am suspecting it could be the platform because for 2 days I've been unable to access it. So anyway, let's leave it as it is. By next week, I'll ensure I'll try my best. If it's an issue of the platform, then there is nothing again we can do. We'll work with what we have. But by next week, we're going to discuss this in addition to our assignments. So after this call, as usual, after this call, I'll be giving out the assignments on data camp. And next week, we are going to cover two courses again. First will be in the introduction to database in SQL course, and second will be database design course. And the third is simply to earn 3,000 XPs. Now, if you complete these two courses, you really do not need, if you complete these two courses this week, you will definitely earn the 3,000 XPs. So these are the three assignments that we'll be getting this week. And immediately after this call, I'll be sending that out. So do we have any question based on what we talked about today? Ayoluwa. Marvelous. Thank you very much for helping out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ogochukwu, for today's session. I really appreciate. If you notice, I returned my hand immediately after he said if it's relating to this session. My own question is not really relating to this section. That's why I dropped my hand. But if you permit me, I'll raise it.
Okay. You know what? Let's do it like this. Let me ask your question. Let's ask. Let's see.
Yeah. So for the data engineering channel, I've not been able to access it yet. And I've been trying all my best to, but not to avail.
Are you on Discord?
Yeah, I am on Discord.
Okay, so did you click on check your, let me see, choose your path or something? Were you able to access that?
No.
Did you see the option in your, okay, can you open your Discord right now? Let's just do this.
Yeah, it is open. Do you need me to share my screen?
No, there's no need. Can you see choose your paths there? Have you done that before?
I can't. No, I've not done that.
Okay, under channels and roles.
Okay.
Go to all channels.
All channels. What I can see is customize and browse channels.
After customize, you see all channels close to customize.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that.
Search there, you see choose your path.
Okay.
Check it, then go back. Choose your path should be there. You select, read the instructions, and you select the image for data engineering. You'll be added to the group automatically.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Have you solved it?
Yeah, I already picked the emoji for data engineering in choose your path.
Oh, okay, go there now. You should see data engineering group right now.
Yes. Okay.
You've seen the, all right,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so do we have, you're welcome. Do we have any other question? I can see two persons. Hold on, please. So, Kosim, let's hear your question. Kosim. Is he here?
Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello,
can.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, we can.
First of all, I want to ask, what's the function of the in and on keywords? Like I saw them when we were working with CT and subqueries, and I don't know what their function is.
Okay, so the on keyword is part of the syntax for a join query. The on simply says we are joining on which columns.
Okay.
Did you get?
Yeah, okay, so the on is we are joining on. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're joining. That's why I said SQL is like our everyday language. You're joining on which columns? You now state the columns as they are on the two tables.
Okay, so the in function is similar.
Did you
We
get
are
that?
joining. Yeah, I got that. So the in function is for.
No,
Can you
the
hear me,
in
ma?
is not. The in is different. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the in is actually works different from the on. The in is we are saying now if something is in say a list. We have a list. Let me say we have 3 letters now. We have say 3 words. Okay, let me still use this our example we're using here. We have 3 categories. Now we want to bring out data that is in only two categories. Now in our where clause, we are saying data that is in category A and category B.
Okay.
Did you get that brief
Yeah,
explanation?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's the difference between the in and on. On works with joins to tell us where we're joining, the columns we're joining. And in means anything where our results should be in either in A or in B.
Okay, okay, ma.
All right.
Yeah, I have another question. Yeah, so
Okay.
when we're treating subqueries and CTEs, I saw that under the subqueries we used both where and having. I thought both of them can be used under the same query, although I know one was used in the inner query, that is the subquery. But I thought since I understand they both filter data, but one filters after grouping aggregate, the other does before grouping. So I was wondering, are they meant to be together in a query, or like separately? I don't. Do you get my question, ma?
Yes, I do. And from our subquery example, we actually, a subquery, like I said, is a query inside another query.
Yeah.
So we can write multiple where, multiple having in different queries, because these queries are actually executed independently.
Okay.
If it
Okay.
comes to execution, it looks at the inner query first of all, gets the answer, performs the execution of the inner query before coming to the outer query. So both of
Okay.
them, though they are dependent, but they are also independent. Independent in the sense that one has to execute before the other.
Okay.
And they are also different. They are still different, but dependent.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, ma. Yeah.
All
So
right.
my final question:
Okay.
when we were working with SQL order of execution, you said something about the where function, that the where function does not accept alias because the select does not come. I couldn't grab that part before you went on to joins. I was trying to understand what you meant by the where function does not accept alias because the select does not come before it, or something like that. I don't know if you could remember, ma.
Yes. And what I said is, although when you're writing queries, the select is the select is the first thing that we write. And looking at it from outside, you might assume that the select will be the first line that the query that will execute when the query starts being executed. But that's not the case. It actually starts from the from, then goes to the where. So anything you're putting in the where clause must be something that already exists in our table. If you pick
Okay.
something, like when we use the where clause, we use an alias. That name, that column name is not existing in the table. It will only exist after the select statement has been executed. And that is why when you're working with queries, you cannot use an alias for the where statement, but you can use it in your order by, because the select has already been executed before order by being executed. Did you get
Okay,
that?
ma. Yeah. Yes, ma. I got that.
Is it
Yeah. Thank you, ma.
is it clear?
Yeah. Thank you, ma.
All right, you're
So,
welcome.
so
Okay.
this is not part of what we did today, but like the assignment here. Is there any? I think someone
I
asked the
can't
last
hear you
time, like
clearly.
if you don't complete it before this thing, does it affect your today? I think someone already asked it, in our last session concerning our assignment. Yeah, so if you are not able to complete it, can you still go
Okay.
back and complete it? Because I wasn't able to complete mine this week. Can you hear me?
Have you done the project? Because it's
No,
actually
no,
come
no,
before the.
no,
I can hear you.
no. I've not done the
Okay,
project.
you actually okay. You ought to complete the courses before the project. But
Yeah. I know. I've not gotten to the project yet. I've not gotten to the project.
okay,
I've started
so
the other one.
now what I said is when these things keep compounding, because the way this we organized or we structured our group is such that in 2 months you're already taking a certification exam in SQL. But if you
Yeah.
allow your courses to keep compounding, by that month you will start lagging behind.
Oh,
If
okay.
you keep your courses and you do not finish it on a weekly basis, you will lag behind. It is always better to be ahead than to be behind in classes.
Excuse
So
me, ma.
for the weekly sorry, please, I'm coming. For the weekly assignments, there is really not, it's left for you to finish it. But for you
Okay.
to scale through the 2 months probation, I hope you remember the requirements.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
these
I
are the
do.
things
I
that
do.
count towards
Yes,
that.
I do.
All right.
So,
Are we
ma,
Caleb. Mm-hmm.
going to get the recording for this session? Because I still want to go over it again.
When it's made available, I'll post it. I believe we received the last one in our emails, right?
Yeah. We did. We did.
Okay, so I think the same will be applicable for this week's session.
All right, ma. Thank you.
You're welcome.
excuse me, ma.
Okay,
I want to
Caleb.
ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm not able to complete the assignments for this week. Will it affect me?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's what I wanted to ask.
I think I just responded to that right now. It doesn't affect weekly per se, but if you leave it to keep compounding, where you get an issue is when you get to the 2 months probation. Did you watch the onboarding video?
No, I've not been able to.
Okay. Do you know the requirements for the 2
Yes, I do know the requirements.
months probation?
Yes, I know the requirements.
All right, thank you. So if at 2 months you do not meet the requirements, there is just no two ways about it. The scholarship will be revoked. So it's easier and better to complete the weekly assignment, and if not just complete it, we will stay ahead of the class, because that's why at our first session, the first thing you get to do is actually to enroll in the career track, so that when you finish the assignment, you're not confused as to what is the next course or what is the next thing I'm going to do. They are already created and we are following them accordingly. So it's easier for you to stay ahead of class than to stay behind, because when it gets to that 2 months mark, you might start struggling to meet up, and I don't know, anything could happen then. So it's easier for you to stay ahead and to complete the assignment before the deadline.
Okay, thank you, ma, for informing me about it.
All right. Who else? Ayo, let's hear from you, please.
Hello, ma. Yeah,
Is
thank you.
Ayo
Yeah, thank you very much, Ogochukwu. My first
Right.
question is like, I won't say it's a diversion from our class, but it's like a continuation. I wanted to ask, when one of the colleagues here asked around on, so I was just thinking, if you are using to on your joints, when you are using to state the column you are joining on? Like, what does it do? What's the difference between on and using? Actually, that's my question. And I have another one. Maybe if you answer this one first, or should I ask the second one?
Oh no, hold on. Let's finish this, please. So the difference between an on and a using is that for an on, the column name might be different. Do you understand?
Yes,
You
I
can
get
actually join a table with different column names, but they are still the contents are the same. Like in an others table, the ID of product could be product ID, but in the product table, the ID is just ID. So when you're joining on an on, when you're using on for joining, you could say you're joining on product.id equal others.product.id. That's how to use the on. The column names can be different, but when you're using it, when you're talking of using, the column name must be the same thing, because there you do not get to use equal to, you do not use any sign, you just state the column name. So from this our example now, since the two column names are the same, we can simply use using product ID, and that's all. But for join, when you're joining using the on keyword, both column names could be different as long as they are the same thing, or the contents are the same. The data type is the same thing. Two column names can be different, but when you're using the using, both of them must be the same thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So my next question is that for some of these assignments that have been assigned to us, I noticed that I've attempted them before this program. So how would you advise? Because when I saw it, I was like, okay, like, and I tried attempting, and I saw that, okay, I've done it before. Will the marks still be awarded, like accrued to me, or be, because now there's a threshold of points to be gotten before 2 months?
That is another aspect of it. Now, if you've done it before, it will actually be recorded that you have completed those courses. But the XPs will not count for the week. Do you understand? The experience points will not count for the week unless you now start attempting questions or you learn further on other courses that are yet to be assigned to you. But if you're based on previously completing these courses, the XPs will not count unless for those that are completing it right now. Those are the place, those are that's when the XP will actually count for them. So
Okay,
if you're
thank
in
you
that
so much.
position, I would advise that you look at taking assessments based on the ones you've completed previously, so as to refresh yourself on those courses that you have completed. Hello?
Yes, thank you very much. I got that. Thank you very much.
All right. So Marvelous and Yusuf. Marvelous, please, let's hear from you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma, for the class today. So my question, I have two questions, but before that, I
Okay.
would like you to address my current situation on the data camp profile. So I do see the tag completed on the
Hold on,
assignment.
please. Hold on, please. I'm sorry to cut you. Well, this
Okay.
call will end automatically in the next 7 minutes. So please, if you could just go straight to the point. I can see one other person is raising his hand up. So just go straight to the point and let's see if we can attend to everyone before the call goes
Okay.
off.
Actually, I have two
Mhm.
questions, ma'am. But okay.
All right.
So for the maybe I should just keep the this thing. The questions I have is about the with the cities. So when I was doing the data camp courses, there was no CTE, so I couldn't get the full concept behind of that city very well. I don't know. Maybe further classes is going to address that. And my second question is about what we discussed last week about the scope of the entire data engineering course. So you said there will be cloud computing also. So I want to ask that in the course of this program, are we going to be exposed to cloud computing, the Azure or AWS, all those particular tools that you have planned for data engineering? So or are they going to be available for the course of this program? So those are my questions. So and also let me just ask the question of the data camp issue. So I do see the completed tag on my assignment. Does it mean that I'm done with the assignments, or I because I just met it then. I don't know, maybe I mistakenly did the assignment, but I just met it there automatically. So I want to ask that do I need to reassess myself on it? But I saw completed on the tag, completed tag on the assignment. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, so that completed means that you have taken it beforehand. So you could just start doing uh, assessments. You could do assessments based on what you have completed beforehand. And if there are other courses in that track that you have not completed, please complete those tracks, those courses, because this will lead us to taking the certification. I think that should be at the 7-week mark or something. That's when we're all expected to take attempt the certification examination. Then for the cloud computing, data camp would only give you a brief introduction into these technologies. It doesn't go in depth. And that's why we're looking at working at just 5 months with from the 6 months scholarship. We'll work together with just 5 months. Then the remaining 1 month, there is a professional data engineering career track. There, it gives an introduction to so many other technologies required by a data engineer, but it is not in depth. So if you want to get in depth into these cloud services, you need to go to, if you're interested in AWS, you have to go to their learning platform. They have free resources there. If you're interested in Azure, the same thing. So if you're interested in learning them in depth, you have to do that outside data camp, because data camp does not provide in-depth resources on in-depth classes on that, just introductory classes. Then for the CTEs, I think maybe I thought it's part of this classes now. It's part of the courses for this week.
No, it was just subquery that was enlisted. So I didn't come across any city except now. I just got the concept, but it's not that deep. So that's why I'm asking that. Are we going to still come across the cities before that track? That's what I'm worried.
Oh,
Or should
I don't think. Sorry.
I said maybe, or should I just work on it? Because I was thinking that maybe we will still come across that city in further tracks. So that's why I'm asking, because I didn't really get it deeply during the class. So that's it.
Okay. Okay. See, that's the class is just like a recap of what you're expected to learn this week. And as it sounds now, you have already done that. You have already learned it previously. So the thing is this: if it happens to come up again in any of the courses, of course we will have a recap during our sessions. But notwithstanding, I'll see how to include it in our session again next week. So we'll have a broader view of what a CTE is. Is that
Okay.
fine?
Yeah, it's
All
fine, ma.
right.
And for the cloud services, I don't know if this program, aside from what Data Camp is offering, will the program help us like expose us to